Welcome. We're looking at more of Alpha 18 book series. In this case, it's going to be the Magnum Enforcer. And I do think it's appropriate to have our good friend, Dirty Harry. So let's listen to Madmole, and I'm going to do a step-by-step review of the different books and give my view of how it is. If you don't care to listen to me, well, just fast forward.
Hey everyone, it's Joel from the Fun Pimps, and we're here today to talk about the new book, the Magnum Enforcer. Magnum Enforcer goes way back to the original Enforcer book we had, kind of an ode to that, which is also, if anyone's paying attention, it's kind of like a little bit of a, well, we're fans of obviously the old Dirty Harry movies, but you know, this is changed a little bit, loosely inspired by, this is even an original drawing. It looks exactly like him, but our concept artist is so good, it almost looks like a photograph, but it's a painting. Anyway, let's get on with what these do. So these are all about the 44 Magnum and kind of role-playing, you know, was a cop that did things his own way kind of deal, and the perks are kind of, these books are kind of inspired loosely by that, and you know. So anyway, first one, the 44 Magnum is the most powerful handgun in the world. Do 5% more damage with Magnums, so that's kind of a nice guy to get.
I like that. Maybe 10% would make more sense. I mean, a Magnum might give, I think, what does it do? 40 damage something, so 5% more would be, you know, a little bit, but it's in an extra couple of damage doesn't really make more sense. I think that having it, you know, 10%, 15% or something would make more sense, unless maybe the ultimate is to double all these ones, then maybe that would make sense.
And the second one, apparel. These $29 suits look good and help reduce incoming damage. Take 5% less damage when wearing a suit. We might change that a little bit. It might be 5% per part. So if you get the whole outfit, you know, maybe you'll have 15% less damage, kind of like you would if you would take some of the Fortitude perks. So it's kind of a way to be, you know, have a little bit of armor with clothing. We'll see how that works out, but you know, we're still talking about what to do with it.
And I think that's exactly what I was talking about just now. 5% seems to be very little. If it's 5% per part and you have like 3-piece suit or something, and then that's 15 at least, then it's starting to make some difference, because you have to remember clothing doesn't really protect anything. Maybe it should be suit or light armor, and not just necessarily. Maybe you should, you know, maybe I can wear light armor underneath and have a suit jacket or something. That would be pretty interesting, not just wearing normal clothing. But actually, that means that they have put in suits inside the game that we haven't seen, because I don't think there are really any suits right now in Alpha 17. That's interesting. That's going to be nice to see. Maybe there's some new wearables.
It's a nice guy, though. Number 3, Unlucky Punks. Do I fire 5 shots or 6? I love this one. The last shot in a chamber does double damage. So instead of reloading all the time, you know, you're encouraged to take that risk and go down to the last bullet and fire it. But you know, because you do double damage, you know, if you miss, you know, you're going to get hit. But if you hit, you're probably going to get the kill. So you know, I love this book because it encourages a risk and reward.
And I like that one. That one really does seem like it makes some sense, because double damage is quite significant. Now, the interesting thing is that I just checked out that Dirty Harry segment where he asked whether they fired 5 shots or 6. And actually, he fired 6, so he had nothing left. So it actually should be 0. But anyway, double damage seems to be really good. I think that's an appropriate perk.
Get the kill. So you know, I love this book because it encourages a risk and reward. Intimidation. This is another awesome one. I love finding this one. Tired of getting robbed by punk traders? Bartering with a Magnum drawn gives you a 5% better deal. So all you got to do is go up to a trader and have your trusty Magnum selected, and your prices are going to be 5% better.
I like that one. That's interesting. That's going beyond sort of specific of fighting or taking damage or dealing damage. This is really more of, I guess, the attitude of the player. It would be cool to have something, you know, if you have a cigar in your mouth and you get extra trading as well. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Shotgun trading, actually, Magnum trading.
And so this one here, armor-piercing ammunition. Criminal scum sometimes wear bulletproof vests, so armor-piercing ammo to serve justice. This allows you to craft the 44 Magnum armor-piercing ammo. And I happen to have some right here, and we'll give you guys a quick demonstration. Basically, this ammo will shoot through zombies, so line them up, knock them down. Pretty freaking cool. Okay, so
So I like that. I know they've been talking, well, Madmole has been talking about having the bullet penetration depending on which weapon and which ammo they're using. And I think that's right. That's really cool. I don't necessarily, again, it goes back to the same thing as the previous perk books. I don't like to have crafting locked behind finding a specific book. Because remember, there's something like, what, 120, 130 books? And if you want to do armor-piercing 44 ammunition, you have to find this one book in order to craft it. And because there's so many books, you might never find it. And maybe by the time you find it, you know, it's way too late and you don't really care about using the Magnum anymore, or, you know, sniper, whatever it is. I think that it locks it behind RNG, which is going to be terrible. I mean, it's back to the old mini bike or of previous versions where you could go a whole game without finding the book, and there were not 120, 130 books back then, but now they are. So I don't know. I think maybe they should have made it so that if you can craft it normally based on an unlock of the normal skill tree, but maybe this would give you extra. Maybe it would give you extra damage when you're using it, for instance, instead of the base perk of being able to craft it. I still have a bit of a problem with that kind of view of the book series unlocking craftables, because it just means that you're not going to use it most of the games you're playing.
Yeah, Volume 5, Hollowpoint Ammunition, the most powerful handgun in the world, just got more powerful. You can craft the HP ammo, and I don't have any ready for a demo there, but it's does more damage than regular ammo, but it doesn't penetrate. So
and again, same thing there. You're probably never going to use this one simply because you're not going to find the book. And I think that's a big shame. This kind of thing that you want to be able to craft based on skill and everything. You could be a real late game level 300 and you just haven't found this one, means you can't find, or so you can't craft the hollow points for the Magnum. And this is a big pity, because this is the kind of thing that people would like to use.
it's just kind of a style. If you want to do maximum damage, go with that. If you want to penetrate targets and deal with the armored guys, then the AP ammo is for you. And the last one, Criminal Suit. The adrenaline from chasing scumbags down in the heat of combat boosts your stamina. Sprinting with a Magnum drawn in combat uses 20% less stamina. Okay, so
I like this one. Chasing scumbags down in the heat of combat could boost your stamina, except that we're not going to be chasing scumbags down. We're going to sprinting away from the zombies to try and stay alive, but at least that's good. Whip up your Magnum or run, you'll be able to run even further. I think that's a cool mechanic, but maybe it should be a tactical retreat as opposed to chasing down scumbags.
So basically, when you're in combat, you've got zombies around, and you've got your Magnum drawn, you're going to use less stamina sprinting. And then the unlock bonus for this particular one is shots from Magnums penetrate enemies, and you can bulk craft ammunition. So basically, you're going to get an extra penetration allowed when you've got this perk. So instead of going through 2 guys, you'll go through 3, which is pretty awesome. And then the bulk crafting ammo, I love these. I've got it unlocked on my particular character for my 7.62 rounds. So 80% of the ammo gives you basically 100. So for 80 tips, 80 whatever, and I can craft 100 rounds. So it's pretty awesome.
And I think that's cool. So this one is seems to be fairly all right as far as an ultimate. So I guess the normal shots might penetrate 1, so you can hit 2, and if you have an armor piercing that normally does 2, it'll go to 3 or maybe 4, depending on. He seemed a little bit unsure when he was doing that, so that's pretty cool actually. So even the normal one's going to penetrate. I wonder if the hollow points would also penetrate, or if it's just a regular one, because it doesn't say normal shots, regular bullets, it says shots, so even the hollow point might penetrate into the second one, so that's pretty cool. And bulk craft, and he has mentioned about that differently. I thought it was going to work differently, and meaning you bulk craft into this ammo crate or whatever, ammo box or something, and then when you pick it out of that one, you got extra ammo. And to craft this ammo box, it requires less resources. So you got 100 in that ammo box as opposed to 80, but it only took the resources of 80. So but we'll see how maybe he'll share specifically how that works, but that's pretty cool. Again, it gives you extra ammo, and that's always nice. And again, it's not overpowered. They're going to give you an extra 20 for every 80, and that's just 25%. So it seems quite reasonable. So I like this one overall. Maybe a little bit of tweaking and pulling these ones out, so you can do that normally as well. I don't like having all this locked behind perks, because this is something that people want to do. And I think that's going to be tough for people to actually, in most games, to find a lot of these books, because it's so many books out there. So what do you think? Do you think that crafting should be locked behind these perks, or should it be perks that make things differently or better, but all crafting is still accessible through your normal skill point usage that you can unlock? What do you think? Well, discuss below, and I'll catch you again next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.